My mother is the bomb. The tabernacle of our forebears is the plan that God had of saving our son above. Be ashamed, O Sidon, for the sea has spoken, the stronghold of the sea, saying, I have neither labored nor given birth, I have neither reared young men, nor brought up young women. Isaiah 23 verse 4.
Okay, this is what this is going to be about. It's going to be about the number 234, which is in the first word of what's called BERESHEIT. It's the inner part of the word, and it creates a nuclear bomb in the center and the housing of the bomb outside.
2:2, 3 and 4. Satan said, from going to and fro on the earth, and from walking, 156, up and down on it.
And 156.
3 and the Lord said to Satan.
And 156 is the surrounding housing of the atomic bomb. It's referred to as walking in Hebrew.
Have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, who fears God and turns away from evil? He still holds fast his integrity, although you incited me against him to destroy him without reason. For then Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin. All that a man has he will give for his life. Job, that he is mentioned in the book of Ezekiel as one of three great examples of righteousness, along with Daniel and Noah, Ezekiel 14 verses 14 and 20. For further information on Job, see these articles, Job, book of critical issues. Job, book of YWB. The story of a righteous man's suffering, apparently as a result of a heavenly wager between God and the Satan.
Now, Job is a way of talking about Isaac, our son. Isaac, our son, was afflicted with boils, as Job was. The boils are the sunspots, numerous that we've had for at least 3 or 4 years. And the denouement was when the dragon who was making these sunspots was exorcised by Christ this past May 14th. So this is the lament of our son.
Job debated issues of reward and punishment with 4 friends and was eventually vindicated by God. Job 2 verses 2 to 4. The book concludes on this note, leaving the reader without a definitive answer to the question of whether or not God lives by the notion of retributive justice. The discussion commences with arguably the oldest account of godly theses or theodicy Sadface Dr. J. Vernon McGee. Fissionable uranium-235 was created during Jesus' 3 hours of darkness on Calvary, not in Eden. Eve took a bite in 1945 with the Manhattan Project, but between Eden and then, Christ Jesus pre-detonated the granite, crystal, causing the piezoelectric motion in granite throughout the crust of the planet, initiating the hydroplate mechanism that resulted in the Mariana Trench scar, due to the subcrustal waters to explode from their caverns. Plains under the oceans to be split, with towering falls of superwater 1,300 degrees to come out of the womb of Earth.
It's called superconductive water, and it's used in industry.
Supercooling the freshly detonated uranium in granite. Man-made U-235 is not the same as God's U-234, the mass from his Z pinching the bolts toward the mass of granite. Granite has piezoelectrified crystals in it that he created uranium-92 with.
So, what I'm trying to say here is that there's a difference between these two elements. 234 is in the first word, BERESHEIT. It is without this enrichment. U-235 is enriched, and it's radioactive. The other is not radioactive. So one was created, or the crystals was latent in the granite, and the other is after Jesus Z-pinched it, as it was just saying.
At the time it was created, granite instantly morphed into U-235. This chemical process apparently was unknown by Satan.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say. This chemical thermonuclear reaction process, it did not instantly morph into 235. It was enriched by man. This is a man-made element, so to speak.
Apparently,
So this process, I'm saying, is apparently unknown by Satan.
when Satan found out about this, he tried to possess a man who would in turn create the void of World War II's atomic program and supercool the surface of the sun, as the Earth was now protected by Jesus' uranium creation / cooling of...
Okay, so apparently when Satan found out about this process, he tried to reenact it on the sun, is what I'm trying to say, is what I think happened. So he tried to do whatever he did into the sun's surface, skin for skin. Whatever he did was to create a supercooling effect on the sun. So we'll just say here the Earth was not protected. Jesus' uranium creation cooled the core. In other words, when World War II comes along and they start monkeying with this stuff, let me go down here, then it couldn't have a runaway effect because Jesus had already detonated it.
Man who would in turn create the void of World War II's atomic program and supercool the surface of the sun. The Earth was now protected by Jesus' uranium creation / cooling.
Trying to get him to talk about this. Control C. Okay. Uranium is found. Okay.
Uranium is found in nature as the isotopes 238U, 235U, and 234U.
No, it is not found in nature. 35 and 38 are not. 34 is.
238U comprises over 99.2% of uranium found in nature, where it is admixed with 0.7% 235U and 0.01% 234U. Enriched uranium has been chemically manipulated to increase the concentration of 235U to either 2 to 4% for poorly enriched uranium, used for nuclear power reactors, or to greater than 90% for highly enriched uranium, used for research reactors, nuclear submarine reactor cores, and nuclear weapons. The king ram was caught by his crown of thorns
Okay, I'm going to take that off now. Okay, now we're going to go to... This should be Isaac as Job. This guy says Job. Okay, so we're going to do the Akedah. So all of this is intertwined. Everything is intertwined here. Thermonuclear radiation. The sun's help from Jesus when the dragon tried. He possessed the sun for 156 years, 165 years. Jesus just exorcised him out this past May. So we'll get this in before this battery goes bad.
The king ram was caught by his crown of thorns going into the Akedah of Abram. Genesis 22, when he saved our son from the binding of the same. Isaac is our son's acronym. This ram discharged our son from dragon Satan in 2024 when the dragon was sent to the Grand Canyon's pit of darkness just before he is sent to outer darkness and the lake of fire.
Okay.
George
So we did the Gale story, so we'll just get the tail end of Gale's story.
After Gail's story, it dawned on us that President Donald Trump was born and raised, the same place George Washington held the initial soon-to-be fixed procedure marking the precedence of inaugurating America's White House on the same sacred ground, April 30th, 1789. George Washington, standing on the balcony of Federal Hall on Wall Street in New York, took his oath of office as the first president of the United States. During Gail Walters' excursions, she was able to connect Dr. Nikola Tesla to the sacred ground of America and caused us to realize his connection to the birthplace of its 45th president, Donald Trump. Randy K., YouTube, 2022 to 2024. Jesus and Adam versus Satan and Adam. They both had designs on atomic structure, so did Eve. She is the quintessence of matter, she being anthropomorphized in Genesis as the mother of all living systems. Of Adam, helped restore the son, his name is Isaac or laughter. Genesis 22. Lourds, France, appearance of Immaculate Conception 1858, and Fatima 1917, La Solette 1848, prove she took on human form. Eve ended up supporting Christ Jesus and his creation. Jesus needed to create her essence with human form, so she could create Mary, i.e., Jesus of Nazareth. The exactitude of stellar formations, Lucifer, exalted himself in the confiscation of our sun's power. Isaac was bound by the tentacles of Satan, 1859 Carrington event to his castigation on May 14, 2024. In 2024, the dragon was vanquished to his prison on this planet. Genesis 22 is the picture of how the ram would eventually become into humanity. Becoming the lamb, Jesus would free our son from Satan's grasp with his power. Revelation 1-5 confirms that Christos did not take away our lampstand.
So Jesus said that he was referring to the lampstand, and the first part of Revelation is he's saying, I'm going to take your son away. Basically, he's going to just allow time and space in our planet to be destroyed.
Young sheep are lambs. Adult female sheep are ewes. Castrated male sheep are wethers, and intact, not castrated, adult male sheep are rams. Jesus was castrated on the cross.
Wow.
Understand the setup? The contest was on for the right to earth and its inhabitants. Jesus, human form of God eternal, set up Lucifer with the 165-year plan to put him in permanent timeout. The Bible and the characters in this opus cuts across spatial principles and the clockwork of time. God illustrated to Moses the Israelites in the end time, 1948 to 2024, were to witness an antichristos emerging from their ranks, as well as the overthrow of the Lucifer-turned-dragon finally decimated after Jewish Renaissance, 1948, and World War II proved not to cause a runaway effect.
The runaway effect. And the Antichrist is Kissinger, and it'll state that here. But Kissinger obviously made some sort of agreement with the dragon.